Hello YouTube, welcome back to another Yassit lap guide. My name is Sir Foch and today we are taking the Lambo to the mountain, to Australia, Mount Panorama. Absolutely iconic circuit. Favorite among many, especially the higher tier drivers, as this circuit increases the risk of any mistakes turning into a massive accident by quite a lot. The walls are very close and the road is quite bumpy, and the whole mountain section is probably the best piece of road we have in ACC. So getting good here definitely is quite a priority for a lot of drivers. Me personally, not really the best on this circuit, but also not completely lost here. One thing I'll tell right away, the line for Skyline is slightly different than what you'd imagine the racing line would be. Not lining up all the way to the left on the turn-in for Skyline, as there's a very nasty bump just before the crest there, and if you do go all the way to the left, you will notice the car doesn't want to really react to any of your inputs, and that's because all four wheels basically go in the air, and while that might be good for tire saving, it is not very consistent in not ending up in a wall. So mid-road turn in there works the best for me. That being said, these last couple of corners also very important. Getting your braking and turning right for these can save you a lot of lap time. You might be actually surprised at how much time you can lose in turns 1, 2, and so on that are not part of mountain section. Here we're braking when the black advertisement boards start on the wall on the right. Can use the curb on the outside, but you don't really want to go fully over it, as the car might bottom out and you'll lose a lot of acceleration because of that. For turn 2, we are braking just before the side road ends on the left. Third gear, exit, can use all the curb on the left as well. Lining up on the right, aiming just at the apex, braking just after its second gear up the hill. Can reduce the TC here to 1 or 0, whatever is mapped for you. This is flat out, turning in at the tree. For this corner, we're turning in just before the compression. I turned it a bit too late, so I had to do a small lift. You generally don't want that. A small lift for this corner is fine. Once again, lining up middle of the road, lifting, and then we're going on the brakes. Don't really want to see first gear there. Downhill section flat for the dipper. We're lifting in fourth, braking before the crest, and then going as close to the wall on the right as we dare. Braking before the crest there is very important. It might feel like you can brake later when you brake before the crest, but when you do try to brake later, you'll quickly realize how easily the wheels lock up when you are going over the crest. And for the biggest braking zone of the circuit, we're braking between 150 and 100 meter board. Definitely second gear here. And you can see how much time I will lose by just not downshifting once and not really getting the turn in correct. And for the last corner, we are braking after the first grid slot there on the right side. Just after it is going to be decent enough. So here's our setup, running less front toe than usual, a bit more rear toe than usual. Kind of want to make the car as predictable and stable on turn-in as possible. Engine map 3 is what I prefer here. I think setup will be fine with maps higher than 3, but probably will want to make some changes if you want to try lower maps. Lower maps might be a little bit faster on a circuit like this, but making a setup that can use them is quite tricky, and the driving difficulty will increase by a lot as well. And I'm still relatively new to the Lambo, so I choose to run map 3 here. This is quite a different side than what we're used to seeing. Something about this setup on the front really works well for the bumpy nature of Skyline, and just generally the high-speed corners. The bump stop range on a really high value seems to work the best. Also, a little bit of springs to improve our car over the curbs. Very stiff roll bar, and this is the other thing that I was alluding to earlier. We are running quite a lot of more steering ratio than you're probably used to seeing. Just more predictable, more easy on the steering for Skyline will increase the chances that you don't turn too much while braking just after the crest, so you will be less likely to lose the rear on the brakes in Skyline, because that is a catastrophic error that you cannot afford to make. And increasing the steering ratio for me increases the consistency there. Damper is pretty classic, 1.9 stuff here. And the ride height, a little bit more front ride height as well, to increase our chances to be able to drive over the curbs without catastrophic failure, as we really can't afford those. Running 6-wing, 5 is fine as well. I'm not sure about 4, but 6, 5, 5 might be a little bit faster for quality, 6 might be a bit more consistent for maybe shorter races. Not sure if this setup is super good for a big full fuel 1 hour stints, but I assume with lowering the rake a little bit, it will be just fine. That being said, pretty fun combo, very dangerous, especially Skyline, especially until you stop going all the way to the left before the Skyline actually begins. I was spending a lot of time to figure out how to make the car not jump, but seems to be pretty damn impossible to do so in the Lambo, so altering the line is what we ended up with. Anyways, hope you enjoyed the video. I will leave you off with a hot lap and see you on the next one.